Rachel Reeves is facing mounting criticism after her economic policies, once heralded as a blueprint for recovery, have begun to unravel under increasing pressure. The Chancellor has made a fatal move of which we will impact in detail in today's video. Not only that, but we will also cover some of the latest headlines from across the country. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say we do have new OneKeer t-shirts available on our website. Go to britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is facing mounting criticism after her economic policies, once heralded as a blueprint for recovery, have begun to unravel under increasing pressure. Labour's ambitious spending review, dubbed Phase 2, has set off alarm bells across the political and business spheres, with experts drawing worrying parallels to the austerity measures of former Conservative Chancellor George Osborne. The review, led by Chief Secretary to the Treasury John Jones, is being framed as a zero-based assessment of all government spending, promising ruthless prioritisation and a departure from traditional budget planning. Jones has made it clear that no line of spending is sacred. Yet, with key Labour priorities, such as NHS waiting lists, early education and police funding, receiving protection, unprotected departments like local councils, welfare and the judiciary are bracing for substantial cuts. Economists warn that Reeves's decision to increase day-to-day spending, while front-loading funding to education and the NHS, is backfiring. Business confidence has plummeted, inflation is falling slower than expected, and the pound's weakening performance signals a growing wariness among international investors. Deloitte's latest survey reveals a stark reversal in sentiment, with a net 26% of Britain's top CFOs reporting a more pessimistic outlook, an alarming shift unseen since the turbulence of 2023. This economic uncertainty has been compounded by Reeves's decision to raise £40 billion in taxes, including an increase in national insurance. Critics, including Conservative Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride, argue this approach is stifling economic growth. We've seen a dampening of the animal spirits, and with it, a dampening of growth, Stride said, accusing Labour of taxing the daylights out of businesses. Adding fuel to the fire, Rupert Soames, chairman of the CBI, accused Reeves of bruising trust within the business community. He highlighted a £22 billion fiscal gap identified during the budget, claiming Labour's attempt to plug it has left businesses reeling. In filling in one hole, it's created another, a hole in the confidence and trust that business has in the government, Soames warned. Despite these challenges, Reeves has doubled down on her fiscal strategy. During a recent trip to China, she dismissed criticism, calling her policies non-negotiable and vowing to take further action if needed to meet fiscal rules. Meanwhile, Sir Keir Starmer is attempting to pivot the conversation with a focus on AI and ambitious projects like building a UK supercomputer. But even allies admit the economic headwinds make this a tough sell. The market turmoil has also caused government borrowing costs to rise, reducing Reeves's fiscal flexibility. While Health Secretary Wes Streeting has urged patience, the cracks in Labour's economic vision are becoming harder to ignore. With inflation fears easing and hints of summer growth, some analysts see light on the horizon. However, the question remains, will Labour's gamble pay off, or has Rachel Reeves made a fatal political misstep? As the Chancellor prepares to address these concerns in an upcoming speech, Labour faces growing calls to adjust course. For now, Reeves's bold economic experiment is teetering on the edge, a potential bombshell that could reshape the political landscape. In other news, a Liberal Democrat-run London council has sparked uproar after banning staff from using the term Christian name. In a new language guide, issued by Sutton Council in the capital's south, officials warn that the term may cause offence and has told employees to use other terms instead. The 13-page guide states that the words first name, given name or forename must be used instead, while mentions of religion should be dropped unless it is explicitly relevant. Elsewhere in the guide, outlawed terms include referring to under 30s as youngsters or over 65s as pensioners because the phrases are ageist. Other words no longer permitted include vibrant and mature. The Sun reports that the guide was assembled by diversity experts who warn against incorrect or outdated terms. Using incorrect or outdated language can perpetuate, contribute to, or cause bias, prejudice, and discrimination, the handout says. But Free Speech Union founder and incoming Tory peer Toby Young said, "This is woke hypersensitivity taken to ridiculous lengths. I've never met a Jew, a Muslim, or an atheist offended by the words Christian name," he added. Sutton isn't the only London council to have imposed strict language guides on locals and staff. Just months ago, Hackney Council in the capital's northeast sparked outrage after rolling out a 17-page guide on gender-neutral language for employees. Hackney's pamphlet bans the use of Sir, Madam in formal correspondence, replacing it with more inclusive terms such as Dear Colleagues or Dear Council Taxpayer. Traditional titles, such as Mr., Miss, Mrs. and Ms., were also replaced by the gender-neutral MX, while Expected Mothers is being replaced by People who become pregnant. While just weeks later, it emerged that activist councils will soon be able to change entire street names linked to the British Empire or slave trade, after a quiet Labour walkback on local authority powers. The decision came after a series of attempts by town halls to cut ties with historical figures linked to the slave trade following Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, including a £100,000 spend by Haringey Council to rename Black Boy Lane to La Rose Lane, after poet and racial equality campaigner John La Rose. A Sutton Council spokesman said, "This is guidance and not policy. We have not banned the word Christian. Our inclusive language guide has been created in collaboration with our staff to help them support our balanced and diverse community. Most forms that British residents are asked to complete refer to first name and surname, so our guide reflects common usage today." Lastly, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are facing difficulties as they attempt to balance their roles between entertainment and humanitarian work, according to GB News royal correspondent Cameron Walker. "It is difficult for Meghan and Harry trying to find their place in the world," Cameron said. "Are they media entertainment personalities, or are they going to be humanitarian workers? I think at the moment they are straddling those two different worlds, and they are trying to find their place within it." It comes as Family Ties actress Justine Bateman criticised the couple's appearance at LA wildfire relief efforts, branding them disaster tourists. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.